Hey, happy Thursday. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday for your noon forecast. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox with Hail Trace, and we appreciate you hopping on here. We have a lot to talk about today. We have hail once again for that Denver area. Now, maybe even a better chance today than what we saw yesterday. We'll talk about that hail risk, not only for Denver, but a good portion of eastern Colorado all the way through the central and southern high plains. We have once again another chance for wind out to the east, so that'll be high wind through North and South Carolina. And then we also have a chance for flooding farther down to the south, and we may be having a few technical issues here, so we'll see how this forecast goes. But let's go ahead and talk about our upcoming event on Tuesday. So this is on Tuesday, July 23rd. We have the Winchester Drive-In in Oklahoma City. Gates open at 7:30 and the movie starts at 8:45. This is a free event and we would love to invite you to it if you are in the Oklahoma area. So I'm going to step out of the way here. Get out your phones, scan that QR code or take a screenshot of that. That'll take you to the link to get that free code to go to the Winchester Drive-In. Again, this is to watch the new Twisters movie that comes out this Friday, but you can watch it for free on July 23rd at 7:30. It's going to be fun. We're going to have face painting, popcorn, all kinds of fun things with this. And if you want to use that code Twisters VIP, capital T, capital VIP, for your free $5 off those tickets. We would love to see you at the drive-in. It's a lot of fun. Alrighty, let's get to what we saw yesterday. We did see once again a lot of high wind up the East Coast and even some down to the south. And then of course all of our hail was in that area that we talked about yesterday. Just missing Denver, just barely outside of the city, farther off to the eastern side of the state here. You can see some of those storms popping up yesterday in Hot Springs, creating some of those stronger storms with that hail reported. As these storms tracked farther down to the south, we saw a few more hail reports in here. Again, this formed kind of right on top, if not to the east of Denver, but started producing those stronger storms farther off to the east and near the Denver or the Colorado-Kansas state line. There you go. You can see some of those stronger storms that lasted through the late night and even some through the early morning hours. Now let's take a look at what we can see for the rest of the day or even what we saw yesterday. A little bit of rain out there to the west, better rainfall totals farther down into Texas, farther up the East Coast as well. This is going to be a very similar story to what we see today. So just take into account that we've already seen rain in some of these areas. We're going to see more rain today, and that'll cause some flooding concerns farther down to the south. Now, it does look like here recently we've had a severe thunderstorm. I have some graphics here covering up exactly where that watch is, but we can expect damaging wind gusts as well as isolated hail this afternoon into the early evening hours for places like North Carolina, mainly North Carolina here, but this kind of goes into South Carolina as well. You can see that line of storms that's progressing to the east, and that could produce some strong wind gusts in these areas. Showers and storms are likely farther off to the southern states as well. Some of those states that touch the Gulf Coast here, we will see showers and storms continue, most likely non-severe here, but the biggest risk in this area will be that excessive rainfall and flooding possible. Taking you farther off to the west now, we could continue to see showers and storms mainly through the late night hours, evening and late night hours here. Farther off to some of our desert states, this will also cause excessive rainfall and flooding for some of these areas. Remember, a little bit of rain goes a long ways for some of us. We'll see isolated, non-severe thunderstorms farther off to the west, but as you get into Colorado, even portions of western Kansas, isolated large hail is possible. High wind gusts also possible in this area, but I'll get to your hail forecast in just a minute. This will be through the afternoon and late night hours. So there's a look nationwide of what we are expecting for today. A lot of us feeling a little bit of a cool down today, thanks to some of those showers and storms, thanks to a cold front that has already pushed through. If you are off in places like North Carolina, I do want to show you that severe thunderstorm watch there. That is for the eastern side of the state. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of those temperatures for today. Taking you down into Oklahoma City here, current temperatures are at 84 in Chandler, 84 in Oklahoma City, 87 up in Stillwater today. And taking you down farther into Texas, 84 in Dallas. Hey, we're matching Oklahoma City and Dallas. Temperatures are staying in the mid-80s. A little bit cooler down in Texas than where we were this time yesterday. That's great news. Still holding on to those warm temperatures farther down to the south and east, probably pretty hot and humid in places like Raleigh. We've got 96 down in Macon, 103 in Florida. Okay, we have a winner. Las Vegas is always the hottest temperature on the map, but guess what? Florida has taken it today. 103 down in Florida. And I also think we have a 101 in Phoenix. So we have two different areas that have beat Las Vegas for those temperatures today. I don't know if that's a win or not, but we'll say warmer temperatures. I don't know if anyone wants triple digits. Okay, let's take a look at the instability for those thunderstorms later on today. Obviously, you can see that instability farther off to the west, but I did mention excessive rainfall farther down to the south and east as well. Not expecting severe storms down here, however, excessive rainfall, flooding is possible farther down to the south and east. And for your hail forecast today, you can see that that's definitely concentrated farther out to the west. Could we see hail with some of these severe storms that we're getting in North Carolina right now? It's definitely possible, but the better chances will be out near Denver, into eastern Colorado, also near western Kansas, into the panhandle of Nebraska. And we'll take a look at that hail forecast and I'll outline exactly the hail sizes that we can expect for today. Pretty small hail sizes all the way down to the south, even skimming the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas into New Mexico. You could see some pretty small hail from some of those isolated storms later on tonight. However, better chances, almost bullseye Denver here, and then farther off to the east. I think these storms will set up just to the west, if not on top of the highway, and then track farther off to the east. So I do have a moderate risk for storms in Denver today. Again, a pretty low risk farther off to the east. If we do see any hail in this area, I think it'll be pretty small. Better chances out in the plains area. Very similar to what we saw yesterday, and actually very similar to what we're seeing tomorrow as well. Let's take a look at the radar for today and then we'll get on to tomorrow. Showers and storms ongoing across North Carolina right now. We were talking about that earlier. That'll continue through the early evening hours. Now the showers and storms out to the west will start to pop up, isolated at first, most likely non-severe, until the afternoon hours. You can see that we really start to see this ramp up right before dinner time, maybe for your evening commute. If you're in the Denver area, this may stall your evening commute, it may slow it down a little bit. So if you have any plans this evening, make sure you take your time getting there. You don't want to rush it in this rain. But again, hail is possible as these storms continue through the evening hours. I think after sundown, we'll start to see smaller hail sizes and that hail risk go down. So could we see showers and storms that produce hail in places like the Oklahoma Panhandle, Texas Panhandle, and New Mexico? Yes, I think that's definitely possible. However, the hail sizes will be a little bit smaller in these areas. This continues through the overnight and early morning hours for tomorrow morning. Now let's talk about tomorrow afternoon. We have another chance here. It's kind of like a rinse and repeat. We have another chance in the exact same area. Third day in a row here for showers and storms to produce hail. This will be just to the east of Denver for some of the largest hailstones here. I think we could get up to golf ball to maybe ping pong ball to maybe golf ball sized hail. All right, better chances for from larger hailstones in Rapid City, Denver, McCook, Pueblo, even down to Garden City. You could see some of those isolated storms that will produce several hailstones out of this. Taking a look at the future radar, so here we are early Friday morning. We are still seeing showers and storms just off the Gulf Coast. So again, this could aid in the flooding. If we see a shower or storm just kind of sit on top of a city or two, that of course could produce some flooding. If you're in Oklahoma City, out to the west in western Oklahoma, we'll see some remnants of these showers and storms that we're getting tonight into early tomorrow morning. So for some of our western communities, that could also produce a very slow commute tomorrow morning. But I don't think that'll get into Oklahoma City. That'll be probably out to the west. Taking a look at the mid-morning hours, we will see showers and storms initially in Nebraska. However, I'm not worried about these. It'll be the afternoon showers and storms, so you'll see this kind of line, scattered line of storms that'll pop up on tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. By dinner time tomorrow, I think that'll be the better chances to see some of those stronger storms. Again, a very similar timeline to what we're seeing today. A little bit more widespread and a little bit farther to the north for tomorrow, including the Nebraska Panhandle. This will be moving into Kansas and into central Nebraska as we head into the nighttime hours after the sun sets tomorrow. We could still see some hail-producing storms, but this will start to dissipate as we head into early Saturday morning. The biggest hailstone for tomorrow will be anywhere from ping pong ball to golf ball sized hail. Again, we stay right in that 1.5 to 1.75 inch range. I think that's a safe spot for the largest hailstone, but the other, more common hail will be a little bit smaller than that, probably closer to the size of a quarter. Okay, let's take a look at the extended temperature outlook. We have seen this picture over and over and over the past few days. It looks like temperatures are trying to cool down a little bit. Now, what this means is this is the likelihood that temperatures will be below average. So let's say our average is 94 here in Oklahoma City. We have a high likelihood for temperatures to be below average. Upper 80s, that's still pretty toasty, but it's way better than the triple digits. Meanwhile, farther out to the west, it looks like temperatures will be above average as we head into the end of July. Very similar for our rainfall outlook as well. It looks like we have better chances to have a ton of rain. We talked about that excessive rainfall down in the southern portion of the U.S. It looks like that will be the case as we head into the end of July. So we've got several more days or 2 more weeks about with these above average rainfall totals farther down to the south. Meanwhile, out to the west, we are going to be staying dry. Hey, thanks for joining us at noon today for your lunchtime forecast. We appreciate you hopping in here. Of course, if you have any questions, stick them in the chat. I'm pretty good about getting to those. I saw we had several questions for today, or several comments. I appreciate you hopping in there. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We just posted a blog at hailtrace.com. You can go ahead and see that there as well. We were talking about tornadoes and airports. So we saw high wind on Monday from a derecha that came through Chicago. And O'Hare was a really big topic of discussion because they saw some very high wind at O'Hare. So I talked about the relationship between weather and airports over the last few years. So go to hailtrace.com and you can see the blog there. You can also call us for a plan at 855-334-4245. or head over to info@hailtrace.com. There you can send us an email. Okay, thanks for joining us on this Thursday. We'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow.